Okay, so this is Team Living Healthy and Fit's Wednesday night team call. We do have a guest speaker tonight. This is Heather Shields. She is one of April's diamonds. I've been kind of seeing Heather's stuff popping up on social media and seeing her in April's group. And you guys, she's really, really moving forward in her business. Has an incredible transformation. She's really good at social media and sharing her story and being raw and real, and really articulating really great posts. So I'm really excited for her to share with us her top tips and things that have been working for her. With that said, thank you so much for being on our call, and we are ready to learn.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I'm so honored that I was asked to speak on this call. That was just so exciting to get your message and invite to tonight. So I'm just as stoked to be here as you guys may be. And yeah, I'm really excited to kind of share what it is that I've been just soaking in and learning lately from kind of this new social media, how social media is kind of changing. It's always changing and morphing. And so just kind of what I'm soaking in from that lately. So first, let me tell you a little bit about me. I am almost 38 and I am in by far the best shape of my life ever, without question. And I have not always been fit. In fact, for the majority of my life, since I was very, very little, I have been extremely unhealthy. And it started with eating disorders where I was exceedingly thin. I mean, all the way back in middle school and all through high school. I just had a very skewed idea of what healthy was and struggled with multiple different kinds of eating disorders and just lots of emotional junk. And a big thing that I talk about and I love sharing is what it is that you're thinking and what it is that you're putting out there is absolutely what you're going to get back. So they say your vibe attracts your tribe. Totally 100% agree. Everything that you're saying to yourself will become true. If you are telling yourself you are a success in this business, you will be a success. If you are telling yourself that you are a healthy individual and that you believe in yourself, that is going to come true. So back to when I was young, I used to tell myself, very negative things. And like I said, I was extremely thin because I had eating disorders. Although I saw myself as the exact opposite. I saw myself as very overweight, even though I was not. So I would consistently tell myself, like, you're so big. Why are you bigger than everybody else? Why don't you try harder to lose weight? And you guys, I created that. Like, I went from being really thin, even though I didn't see that. I went from being super thin all the way to being where the doctors actually diagnosed me as obese, not just overweight. Like, I had gone from one side of the scale all the way to the other. So that at that point, it had completely taken over everything. Like, every single thought in my mind was wrapped up in myself and how big I am and how unhealthy I am and how awful I feel. And it wasn't until after I started having kids that I really realized, like, I needed to figure this out. I needed to get healthy, and it was not about image. It was about figuring out what it is that's wrong inside of me and healing that. So as I started working on myself over the last several years, that has just been like a long process for me. But it wasn't until Beachbody that it just clicked. Something just finally clicked. So when I joined my first challenge group, I fell in love with the program, just like we all do, and fell in love with the way Shakeology made me feel, like we all do. And for once, something was actually working, and it just felt different than every other thing I'd ever done. So when I started coaching the next month, it was not about a business for me. It was all about healing myself and figuring out a way to keep me motivated and keep me excited and keep me in it. So that's why I joined, was for accountability. And I knew if I had some friends involved, if I was helping somebody else, then I would be able to stick with it. So very quickly, I mean, I had friends that were like, all about it, like, oh, this sounds great. So I had a few friends that signed up right away with me, and I had Success Club my very first month, and as soon as I did that, I'm like, oh, I got a paycheck, and I thought, I honestly never thought about getting paid. Like, I didn't even think, like, until I got my paycheck, I'm like, oh my gosh, I can pay for Shakeology like this. So as you know, then my second month I hit Success Club, my third month I hit Success Club, and all of a sudden I was like, I can turn this into a business, you guys. This is so exciting. And no, I didn't have a whole lot of time. No, I did not like originally have that, you know, drive that this is where I'm going to go. But I realized this is a plan that's been laid out for me. And it's once I realized that, like, this is something that has been planned for me from before I was conceived. Like, this is my plan. And once I started believing in myself and believing that, you guys, that's what took off. And that's exactly my point with what it is that you're thinking and your thought process, you so create. So start telling yourself, if you're not already right now, that you are successful. You will be successful in this business. You are a rock star coach. You are healthy. Like, you are amazing and you're beautiful. I know it may seem cheesy to say these affirmations to yourself, but you guys, you have to do it. You've got to start here in the head. It's so much here. So that's just kind of where I want to start with and explain kind of my background and kind of where I am now. So I also wanted to share with you a picture when I started Beachbody, and this was not when I was severely overweight. This was when I kind of had I still had a very, very skewed idea of what I looked like, and I still had all kinds of junk I needed to work out. But this is the beginning of my Beachbody journey, and it's right next to my after picture from the one from this summer. But just to give you an idea, like I looked very different than I look today, and I just attribute that to Team Beachbody, really, not even just Beachbody, but just all of it, just everything that, you know, Team Beachbody does for us as coaches and for us as clients. Okay, so did anybody have any questions about that, or kind of my backstory or anything there before I jump into the social media side? No? Okay. So first, I guess I'll just talk about social media, like, in general, and like posting. So where I'm going when I make a post is, it's got to start, you know, it's got to always start in here, in your heart, and you have to feel it as what it is that you're trying to portray. So just making a post and putting something out there, that's how it's going to be seen. If you just like throw out a post about, you know, I did my workout today and I joined my Shakeology today, that's how it's going to be perceived. But if you are feeling this post, if you like what your experience during your workout, or, you know, your experience with Shakeology over the last month, how it's really helped you, whatever, those experiences, that's the kind of thing that you want to share. You don't want to be sharing, you know, like, oh, popped in my workout today, and nobody's going to really care. They want to connect with you and how it's affected you. So your journey. So everything that you're posting on social media should be your journey and how you feel about it, or what it's done for you, or with your family, or it's got to have some like substance. So every time you post, think about that. Make sure that it's something that's, you know, has substance to it, and somebody's gonna actually want to read it and connect with you. So that's where I kind of jump into now with Instagram. You know, with your posts, they're thought out, and hopefully they're thought out, and there's, you know, a nice picture with it, and it's got thought to it, and it shows that you know, it means something to you. Now, as far as Instagram stories, that's a whole nother level. So that's what's so exciting about Instagram stories. So raise your hand if you are currently using Instagram stories right now. Two of you? Three of you? Okay. So raise your hand if you have Instagram. Does not everybody have Instagram? Okay. So for Instagram stories, for those of you who do have Instagram stories is huge right now. I guess somebody say goodnight. Hello. So Instagram stories is like, for those that you don't know, it's like little snippets throughout your day, and it's only a 24-hour snippet. So what's really cool about this is people, even if they're not necessarily following you, they can see these, and it really gets them engaged in who you are. It's not a post. It's a back story to your life. So that's really exciting to people, because they're not just seeing, you know, Coach Dana. They're not just seeing Coach Melissa. They are seeing your life, and that is really exciting to people. They can connect with you so much more that way. So that's why Instagram stories is huge right now, and it has totally taken over everything. It's taken over the Facebook stories. It's way more popular than the Facebook stories. It's way more popular than Snapchat. I actually just read today An article that was just published today said that it's 66% more productive now than Snapchat. So I know a lot of people are using Snapchat for business, but Instagram stories is just taken over. So if you don't use it, I highly suggest you start. So about Instagram stories, like I said, it's just like a little snippet of your day. So about every couple hours throughout my day, I do an Instagram story, and I'm going to invite you guys to, take a look at my Instagram and just kind of, you can look at it while we're talking if you want. If not, when we're done with this call, but it's just snippets of everything. So like I wake up in the morning and I take a little Instagram story of my my meditation or my quiet time. My coffee, and a little like something from my PD that morning, and then a snippet of like me getting my kids ready for school, or my dog in the car as we're taking our kids to school. And it's just those little things. It's like such simple little things that people connect so much more with you that way. And they're like, this girl is, this girl's great. She's got a little bulldog. I love bulldogs. Or look at how cute her kid is, or she's such a cute little cat girl, anything that's going to help connect you and make you more relatable to people. And that's why, and your followers will increase. So my followers, just from my Instagram stories, I saw an increase in my following numbers, and I think that's just because I was getting out there a little bit more, people were seeing, and it was just going up. And now I just recently started something else to kind of gain my followers, which I'll tell you in a little bit, tell you that about. But so I really just encourage you guys to just experiment with it. There's so many fun little things you can do with it. You can make filters just like Snapchat, and you can, add any kind of wording to it. You can use hashtags on it, which is also really important. You can tag people in it, and it's just fun, and it's easy, and it's just a quick little, backside to your day. So, okay, about Instagram and building. Do you want me to talk a little bit about that today? Okay. So I have recently I'm kind of looking for I don't know if any of you guys used Instagress before, but Instagress was awesome, and it was a great way to build your Instagram, and unfortunately they don't do it anymore. So I'm currently looking for a really good way to build my Instagram, and I tried out a free trial, and you guys are welcome to do this if you like. I can't necessarily 100% vouch for it because I haven't paid for the service, but I've only done the free trial. So it's called Instajam. And if you want to look into that, you can use their free trial, and it is 100% free for 3 days, and they don't even take your credit card. So something to keep in mind if you do the free trial, email them right away and let them know that they need to be unfollowing as well as following. So what they did for me is they followed a whole lot of people, and part of those people followed me back. So that's how my followers gained. So then I ended up emailing them and say, hey, can you unfollow all these people that didn't follow me back? And they're in the process of doing that. Yes, Instajam. Yep. Okay, so another way to increase your followers on Instagram is shout outs or features. Has any of you guys ever done a shout out or a feature? No. What I can do is, Rachel might have done a few times. What I can do is send you, actually, Cora, I can send you a few of them that are really great people to contact, and you can share it with your team. So these are people that have like 1 million or more followers on their page. They will let you pay them to shout yourself out. So you can pay them, and they're different rates. And it also depends on how long you want your shout out to be on their page for, or what it is you want them to say. But if you pay them, some money, then they will shout you out and say, hey, you should follow this, this girl, or hey, look at this transformation story, or, this is my new favorite fitness page, or whatever. And, oh yeah, you haven't done that before. You just call it something different maybe. And so it's just a really good way for people to follow you. And you can also do features like that for your business actual page. So you can say, you can have them say something like join my next challenge group, or a coaching. Like I've only used it for coaching. So I would put, Boss Babes Wanted on a picture, and then they put it up on their page so tons of people see it. And then I ask for their email address. So Corey can kind of explain to you in detail more about making coach calls and stuff like that. So, but I do, if you're looking to increase your Instagram followers, that's definitely a great way to do it, is to use shoutouts. And then Instajam, if you're interested in trying that free trial. Your stories, what else did I have for you? I think that was think that was it for Instagram. What I do, some accounts. Okay, yeah. Do you want me to just tell you guys and you guys can write them out? Okay. Business Mindset 101. They have like a bazillion followers and they do features. Oh, I did want to talk about one more thing too. Motivation Mafia. And Female. That's just the Instagram name. And all those three will do shout outs for you, and you can do all kinds of different shout outs. And I don't know, I haven't used them. I don't know how much they charge, but it depends on how long you want your stuff up there for. So I really think that for us, the business that we're doing, Instagram is going to be kind of the way that we're moving over to. Facebook's great, and you know, if you do your groups over Facebook, that's great. I still obviously am very active in my Facebook because a lot of my target market is Facebook. But for new, especially for coaching, for new coaches, I think that Instagram is going to be where I'm going to put my focus. Just forgot there was one other thing I was going to say. Oh, okay, tagging. So, and hashtags. So one really cool way to also gain followers in your Instagram is to every 3 posts that you do on Instagram. This is brand new for me. I just now heard this and I just now started it and I already got a ton of followers from doing it. So every 3rd post that you post on your Instagram, you can do it more often if you like, but they say at least every 3rd post, you make a graphic that says something about like the one that I just did was tag a boss babe that inspires you. Or you can say tag someone who loves something, tag your favorite dog person or whatever. So just make a graphic and it's really simple. Just say tag your favorite and then they'll start tagging people, and those people are going to see your page that wouldn't see your page before. And then what you can do when you see that is that you can click on them and you can follow them, and hopefully they'll follow you back if they haven't already. So that's just a good way to get new people and new followers and get your profile out there a little bit. And there was one more thing I just said. And hashtags. Okay, so do you guys use hashtags in your Instagram? A couple of you, yeah. So what I like to do is save my personal hashtags, like all the ones that kind of mean something to me, and something that you make hashtags based on the kind of people that you want to attract. So not hashtags like fitness or hashtags like Beachbody Coach. You don't want those on there. You want things that are going to be, the kind of thing that you want to attract, your tribe. Just think about the kinds of people that you want on your team. What kind of people would you want to be on a retreat with? Like those are the kinds of things that you want to attract. So I have a chunk of hashtags that I save in my notes, and then every time I do my Instagram post, I post it, and then I do my hashtags in the first comment of my post. Some people like to do their hashtags in their actual post, and that's fine too. I just started doing it as a comment in my comments, and I like that just because it makes my post a little bit cleaner. But yeah, you can do it that way, and just really, you can use 30 now, I guess, hashtags. I just looked it up today because I was using 25. But when I Googled it today, it said you can use up to 30 hashtags. So I will increase my hashtag numbers now. Yeah, but you just want those to kind of be personalized to you. Does anybody have any questions about any of that? Not.
I had one and then I lost it. Oh, I know what I was going to say. I recently listened to a call that Meg Kozlowski had on her team with a girl that's using Instagram really successfully. I don't remember who the coach was. And she was talking about how when you search for tags that you should make sure that they only have like between 5,000 and like 10,000 posts or something like that. Is that something that you don't want to like be posting something that has like an overabundance of posts to it because you kind of get lost in the noise? So I'm just curious if that's something that you pay attention to when you're searching through tags to use. Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally. But I've never done that. No. And I probably should, because a couple of my tags are really popular, like Fitspo or fitness motivation. I think I might have something like that in there. But yeah, I think that's totally true, because if you actually see those really, really popular ones, like if you were to like search hashtag fitness, there's so many people constantly posting that you're going to be right down at the bottom in a matter of minutes.
Yeah.
So yeah, I definitely think that you should check that out and look at where, where your hashtags are kind of showing up. And what I like to do, I like to have a few that are like very, very like personalized to me that nobody else would use, or at least maybe only a handful of people, just because that way I can actually go back and use that hashtag and see all of my posts. And I find that kind of helpful too. So I have one that I know that nobody uses because I search it and then it's all, it's only my stuff. And I do kind of like that. And like I said, you definitely want ones that are going to reflect who it is that you are and the kind of person that you are attracting. Were you raising your hand, Terry, or were you just fixing your hair? Okay. I couldn't tell if you're raising your hand. Okay. Anybody else have any questions? No? Cordy, do you have anything else you wanted me to cover? I'm happy to go deeper or cover anything else.
No, I mean, so what is your following at now? I don't follow you on Instagram. And to be perfectly honest, I kind of let my Instagram go for a while and really focused on building my Facebook page because that's where I was comfortable and I was getting a faster return. So do you go and do like the 5-3-1 that like Shalene always, where you like 5, comment on 3 or whatever, and follow 1 or get the follower back or whatever that rule of thumb is? Or how do you engage with your followers, or what does that look like for you?
Well, first, like when I first started my business, I was doing the 5-3-1. And it was helpful. And I went from I had like 150 people. And so I went from that, and slowly, gained my followers. And I have less than 3,000 followers right now. And I mean, it's definitely something I am steadily working on. And that's just recently that I'm just really, really trying to build that up. But I do feel like what needs to happen, and I absolutely need to work on this, but it's connecting and commenting on more people's things. So that's why I'm really trying to spend more time during my day on Instagram, is to try to make those connections, because otherwise, you just kind of get lost in the mix of everybody else's stuff. So I'm going through, and what I do is make sure that I get post notifications from people that I think would be good. So, and I also write down people's names. I need to get better about that as well, because I've got a whole bunch of old names here listed that I need to go back and follow up with. But when I see somebody that I think would make a really good coach, or when I see somebody that I think would just be really great to have, around or following, then I write down their name, and then I just make sure that every day I'm going in and liking their posts or commenting as well. I mean, it's really important to comment over like. I mean, I do like as much as possible, but your name is going to stick out more when you comment, and then that's going to link you two together. I mean, Instagram now has algorithms similar to Facebook, just not as intense. So if you're noticing lately in Instagram, you're seeing the same people over and over again, because they're doing the same thing that Facebook is. So the more people that you connect with that are outside of that, the more people that are going to see your stuff.
Okay. I think there was a couple questions. Melissa said she doesn't currently have an Instagram account. So what would you suggest, like some key points to get it started, or like some advice to get it started?
Okay. So just from scratch, it's actually really great that you're just doing this from scratch and you're not starting from a personal standpoint, because you don't have to change anything, or, you're going at it from, a clean slate. So I would start following people who are fitness-based, that are really successful in this, that are not necessarily Beachbody coaches. So another thing that I think is really helpful for us as coaches is to start looking outside of our Beachbody bubble, because we see kind of the same thing, and we end up having the same language, and a lot of times people don't really understand what all that means. So I think that it's helpful if we start looking outside of that and watching how people in the fitness field are kind of doing things that are away from Beachbody. So that's probably what I'd first start with is I would search for successful fitness-based people out there and kind of mimic how they run their Instagram. And that's kind of what I'm doing now with mine. But mine's so it's funny, because in the beginning of my, coaching, and I'm guessing that most of us did this, when we start beginning, our first, couple months are all like pictures like this with our Shakeology cup, like, yay, Shakeology, post. hashtag Beachbody, hashtag Emerald Coach. And so because you're coming at it and at this point in the game, like I think that's actually really great because your Instagram is going to start knowing, the kinds of things that you need to build on. So yeah, I think the first thing would be to start following some people that are outside of Beachbody. Obviously you can follow Beachbody people as well, but just keep in mind that, our Beachbody bubble, people don't understand a lot of stuff. And do not post pictures of your Shakeology cups, and do not talk about, Beachbody this and Beachbody that, but make people want to be interested in, like, wonder what it is that she's doing. I wonder what it is that, I always talk about my Energize as my like rainbow, like unicorn juice. And I get so many people like, what is this unicorn thing you're drinking? So I just create that, that question in people's mind, like what it is you're all about and what it is you're doing and drinking and stuff. So yeah, did I answer your question? Is that helpful?
I think too, like you have sorry. I just looked up your account. I think it's important to find other accounts that you admire. Like Heather has very much a theme going where she has a white post every single, that lines up so that it kind of keeps structure or a clean line to her page. So, that can be helpful too, is, finding other accounts that you like the aesthetics of it, you like the color schemes, and trying to keep everything very unison too, because that's something I personally struggle with. Is Instagram is very pretty, and you might not always have time to take that pretty picture or really plan it out, but you have to, when you're talking about Instagram, is really kind of plan it out, and it doesn't always need to be a selfie because that gets kind of boring, right?
Yeah, and Instagram is so much into, that's why people like Instagram. It's about pictures and not necessarily about content. So yeah, and even if you, like you mentioned, sometimes you don't have the time to make like a nice pretty post. If you are always using the same filter, like I always use the exact same filter, even if I've already filtered it for something else, I still use the same Instagram filter and everything, so everything just kind of looks the same. Mm-hmm. So even if you're like, Rush, you just got to get something on Instagram, obviously don't make it yucky, but if you just put the same filter on and have kind of the same theme, then it's just going to look better all around. And like I said, Instagram is not about wording, so you don't have to have the exact same posts. A lot of my posts that I do on Facebook, I also have on Instagram, but a lot of times I'll shorten it because people have a really short attention span with Instagram. They're really just looking at your picture, so your picture has to grab them. Whereas Facebook, a lot of times, like your wording and like I was talking about earlier, your feel to the whole thing and like your emotion, that's where people are connected with Facebook versus your picture on Instagram. So.
What is the app that you use to blend? Because I know with your before and afters, they're always so pretty and you blend them right in the middle. So what app do you use for that?
That's Pick. I use so many different. Split Pick.
What is it?
Split Pick. And you can like slide the little bar over to kind of pull them together. So
okay. And then I think Dana had one question. Do you direct message people on Instagram? I think was the question.
Yes. Yep. And I'm doing so much more now. And so a lot of times people, especially the people that are newer to Instagram, they don't know the notification to get a direct message. So when I send them a direct message, then I'll go to their page and I'll comment on one of their pictures and I'll just say, hey, I love that. That's so cute. Hey, I just sent you a DM. Just so they know, they're like, hey, there's something waiting for them. Because there's so many people that don't get that notification that it's there. There's been a lot of times that I go back and they're like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. You messaged me a couple of times and I didn't even see it. So I do like to comment and let them know that there's something sitting there for them. And I just now started, Rachel and I were talking today. Rachel's my success partner. And she's phenomenal. And we were just talking today just about our Instagrams and how we're really trying to work on bumping it up and, these kinds of tools that we're just kind of learning. And it's such like, it's always changing and it's such like a process, but it's really cool. And you can reach so many cool people on Instagram. more so than your Facebook. So that's why I say I think it's definitely going to take over and where we need to kind of have our focus. Oh, the other thing I was going to talk about is moving, like instead of having to come up with 3 different posts in 3 different places or whatever platforms it is that you use, what I like to do is create my post in Facebook, and then I copy and paste. Don't ever share like from one to the other. You want to make sure that you copy and paste. So copy your same stuff over to your Instagram, and you can change it up. You know, you can limit your wording, like I say I do sometimes, and then obviously add your hashtags. And from there, then I share it from Instagram to my business page. So my personal Facebook page is where, you know, lots of my work happens, and my coaching stuff happens. But then I post it on my Instagram, and then from my Instagram, then I can post it onto my business page. So, but you don't want to kind of go in a different order. That's kind of the order that you want it to go in. Otherwise, they won't get seen as well. So you don't have to recreate posts for each different platform that you use, or different pictures for each different platform that you use. You can kind of, you know, do the same theme for all 3 if you have a business page. And then like I said, I like to have my link together. So my Facebook is linked to my like page. Anything else? I'm sorry, I keep like not seeing the chat pop up here.
No, you're fine. I think that was the last one. If you reach out. So what are you saying, like when you reach out? Are you just like, hey girl, like I saw that we have some mutual things in common, or like I saw this picture, blah, blah, blah. Like how are you kind of, because obviously you don't want to spam people, and I don't know that it's so much saturated on Instagram, but like Facebook, people kind of, the hey girl messages don't work quite as well, you know, with other MLMs that have just really kind of bombarded people with that. So how do you kind of open that conversation?
Okay, Rachel and I we actually just shared our scripts with each other today. So I can kind of go over what it is that we shared with each other. One that I had kind of sent kind of from the beginning was similar to what Rachel had sent me today. It's like, hey girl, this is totally random and it might not be your thing, but I just had to message you and tell you how much I love your page. You're so real and honest. It's my daily dose of inspiration. I love it. You probably get this a lot, but have you ever considered what it is that I do? I feel compelled to ask because I feel like you and I have so much in common. I think you'd be great. Something like that. And so I was using a script very similar to that. And obviously, like sometimes you personalize it because you see that they, you know, have kids, or you throw something else in there about their dog or something to, you know, personalize it. But something that I just recently started doing, and I was talking to Rachel about this, is I had a similar script, but then I sent a picture. I actually sent my Boss Babes Wanted picture after each time I sent it, just so they see my face. So it's not just like a bot, you know, almost message. So I have started to do that just in the last few days. So I send my e-message, and then I send a picture of me like on my laptop. Not even my laptop, fake laptop. Somebody's laptop I borrowed for the picture. And so earlier I was not getting a whole lot of engagement, but it's doing pretty well. So between my Instagram story and then my direct messages with my picture, like I'm really feeling like there's a lot more movement. So yeah.
Okay, cool. Thank you. So you're not focusing so much on building the relationship at that point through Instagram. You're kind of going right into and kind of just asking if that's anything they had ever been interested in or would be interested in.
I do more cold, like almost like cold invites on the Instagram. However, I do want to make sure that they've seen me before. So if I don't think that I've like connected at all with them, I will make sure to go onto their page and like several of their pictures, and not just the last 7, but like I'll go through like some of the older ones, and like I'll like obviously the very first one of theirs, and then like maybe the 3rd, and then I'll go down a little bit and like a couple of other ones that I felt like I really would connect to.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll comment on at least 1 or 2 of the pictures so that they see me come up in their, you know, notifications, and that I sent them a direct message. So I don't want them to think like I've never seen their page before. And I'm just saying, oh, you're so inspirational, you know.
I didn't look at your page, but you're great.
I just called you today, and I've been, yeah. I definitely don't ever do that. I don't follow somebody that day and then send them a direct message, because I want them to obviously know that I really have been following them. And that's why I set or write down people's names that I like, or that I set the notifications for their posts. Like you can set it so you get, posts for people.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I do that on people that I connect with, and I think I do want to end up messaging. But I don't go through like a whole like conversing for the next couple of weeks and forming a relationship. I just make sure that they've seen me at least once or twice.
Cool. That's super helpful.
Good.
Anybody else have any questions?
I love Q&As. Ask me anything. Or not.
Or not. No, I think Melissa has some ideas to get started and maybe look at some different accounts. And no, I think that's definitely helpful. Because like I said, I'm kind of just diving back into Instagram because I kind of had let it go, and I know it's different. Like it's totally different than when I was really building mine. So, and I appreciate the fact that you're honest and you say you do more cold leads or cold invites on Instagram versus, Facebook, which I think from the standpoint of, adding another platform to your plate, makes it a little bit easier. You don't feel like, you have to spend so much time building and forming all these relationships like you do on Facebook, to kind of create that credibility and relationship. So I definitely think that that's helpful. The Instagram stories is fun. It's, it's something totally different, but it's fun.
It is fun. I really do enjoy doing it. And, I'll also do little snippets. Like I said, I do encourage you guys to just take a look and see, like, not just on mine, but other people's stories as well. But what I like to do is do like little snippets of my video or my workout that day, and show people how easy it is, like, to really get your workout in at home. So
yeah, and you can do that like hands-free. There's like a hands-free option so that it counts down. So it's not like you running away from the camera. It actually gives you a 3-second countdown, and then it just records you for 15 seconds. And as far as I understand, Instagram doesn't have like all the restrictions like Facebook does with music. So like if you have music playing in the background, they're not going to cut your story because you had music or something playing in the background like Facebook would, because of the copyright issues that Facebook has. So that's something that, it just kind of takes the pressure off. You can just be you and kind of do it in the moment, which is cool.
Yes, definitely. And that's how they are with their stories, but they will scold you if you put music to a video that you actually post on your Instagram page, but not stories.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Rachel actually taught me the hands-free. Like that was like so exciting for me, because like every time I was like, I click it and like go and like run in my spot, like really quick. You can see every single time I'm like just a wreck trying to get to where I need to get to. So those 3 seconds are golden.
Yes. Yes, that's awesome. Well, what I love is you don't have to post it. You can hit the X button and redo it if you totally muff it up. It's not like once you do it, it's out there for everybody to see.
Which is a good thing, because I X out of so many of them. I'm like, oh yeah, that's my work. Like making my like ab workout, my butt's like right there. I'm like, yeah, that's not a good angle. We can't have that on there.
Oh, that's funny. Cool. Does anybody else have any questions for Heather?
Rachel?
Rachel, do you have any thoughts since you're using it too? And
I was going to ask you, Heather, I think it might be helpful for Melissa because she doesn't have Instagram. If you talk about like how you get your hashtags, because coming up with like 25, when it was 25, I didn't even know it was 30 now. But that was like hard for me. Like I had to do research on how to find out how to use hashtags, like what ones to pick.
Well, I just really picked mine based on a list of things that I wanted that like spoke to me and kind of my personal journey, and then the kind of thing that I would want to attract. So I'm like, everybody knows I'm like a bulldog lover. So a couple of them are about bulldogs, and I'll blonde hair or messy hair. I don't know. I've had the different ones about camping. I can't even remember what all I
So
had
like
on
your
there.
hobbies and stuff. Like I know that that's like something I talked to one of my coaches, Mel, about because she was having trouble with it. And I was like, I just had her write down like 10 things she was interested in. And then you can actually look up your hashtags on Google to see which ones are like good. And just like you said, you don't, I've never heard of like 5 to 10,000, but I've heard you don't want to follow over like, it was like 400,000 or something like that. Like then it'll get lost. But you want them to have like some following. But I know I struggled with finding hashtags because I was like, you know, I don't know, like dog mom, but then it's so like how you said you use bulldog, like that's specific. So that's good to use. But like I would do like dog mom and then I'm like, okay, I need to do husky mom. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So that was, I struggled with that in the beginning. So I think that'd be helpful for her too.
Yes. And like, you know, I put mom stuff on there, you know, that stay-at-home mom or work-at-home mom or mom of two or whatever, you know, just something that describes you and gives them a little background as to who it is that you are. And some of them can be funny. Like I like to put a couple funny hashtags in there, just like I think Chipotle is my spirit animal. Like that's like my favorite hashtag. Chipotle is my spirit animal. I just had it for dinner tonight. I literally just ate Chipotle. So it can be silly and funny too. I keep hearing from, I've got so many like high school babysitters and they're like, you know, hashtags are kind of out. Like hashtags aren't cool anymore. But I love hashtags and I think hashtags are funny. And even, you know, you can use hashtags on Facebook just for fun. I mean, not that really they do a whole heck of a lot on Facebook, but I love to read people's funny hashtags. Like that's fun and I like it. So hashtags are good. I don't care if hashtags are going out. Hashtags are in for me. I've been using Husky Mom to try to gain UK followers. I've actually been wanting to add some UK stuff to my stuff. Oh, she has a husky? Fun.
Awesome.
Oh.
I started using a couple. Yep, there she is. She just had some pretty extensive leg surgery too. That's Juno. They rescued her from the warden, a couple months ago? Yeah. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. We have lots of puppy moms. I have a Dober puppy. So I use Doberman or Dobe Mom for mine. So yeah, it's definitely just finding things that are unique to you.
Yeah.
Sure. And Melissa, with Aaron being in the military, like I'm sure there are a ton of different military mom, military wife. Like I'm sure there's tons of different avenues that you can go that way too.
Oh yeah, definitely with military for sure.
But
That's great that you would be able to speak to, you know, and connect with other military wives.
yeah. Yeah, for sure. Here's one. What's what?
Here's one what?
Oh, pregnant again. There you go. She's pregnant with baby number 2.
Yay! Congratulations.
Oh, that's a good one.
I'm not going to use that hashtag.
No, I hope I never use that one again. We would have a problem.
I was just tonight. I'm like so tired. I drank a coffee at 6:15 tonight. Like
Come
I'm
here.
so tired. I'm like, this is like pregnant tired. Like really like that deep, really tired. Like but I'm not. Oh, look who it is.
Come say hi. Come say hi. There's my baby.
Hi. What's her name?
Riley.
Riley.
She'll be 8 months old tomorrow.
Oh.
Crazy.
Cardio is cardio. Yeah.
Awesome, girls. Well, does anybody else have any questions? I don't want to keep you all night. I'm sure you have things to do. No?
Okay.
Well, thank you so much. That's super helpful. It gives us kind of a starting point and a refresher on using IG and just, you know, kind of revamping social media and being willing to change and kind of morph as times change, and, you know, being the most effective and time efficient for sure. So thank you so much for your time. We really, really appreciate you and
Thank you
being
for
on the
asking.
call. Yeah, absolutely, girl. I really appreciate it. I love watching you on April's group and watching you through, now that I'm following you and things like that. I just followed you on your IG too. So it's super exciting to see your story.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All of you ladies. It's nice to meet you guys, and feel free to, you know, follow my Instagram and take a look at the stories, and definitely think you should hop on to IG stories and make it fun.
Awesome. For sure. All right, girl. Thank you. I will get the recording up and I'll share it in April's team as well. So if you guys need it or want to listen to the playback or anything like that, you can have it too. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Have a good night.
You too. Bye-bye.
All right, bye-bye.